Hey, hey, hey. It is time to go live stream because there's so much going on. We're gonna let people get in the chat room, and we're gonna let all the commercials play. Gotta make money on the road to Ruta, man. Can you guys hear me? Give me a 5x5 if you can hear me. Do I hear a 5x5? There it is. Look at that. I think we're good to go. This is going to be a little bit different. We're going to do a chat where I'm not just randomly trying to see things pop out in the chat room. Amy's going to pick the questions that she's going to throw at me from the chat room. So she's on the other side of this camera monitoring me so I don't screw up, and we're going to have some fun. Headed down the road. Who's in the house? Clint Westwood in the house? Where is he? I don't see his name. Oh, there he is. Hello. In, what was it? A month? End of the month?
In a couple of weeks.
Couple weeks. We can't make it. Too much craziness going on. Too far of a drive. Bummer. Chris Card. How are you, man? Robert, Sean, Ed, Victor. They're all saying hi to Amy. She's more fun than me anyway. All right, here's where I want this to go today. Been getting a lot of people saying, "Oh, what's going on with silver? I can't believe it's not happening. Why isn't silver going through the roof?" Because it's rigged. It's rigged in a different way now, which is kind of cool. It means at least someone pulled the plug on the banksters who have massive amounts of power, and at the same time, if the bankers go down, everything goes down. So they might be attempting to take out some other silver riggers, like high-frequency traders. That's where the main rigging is coming from, we believe. We being myself, Ted Butler, and some other people that I consult with, and pretty much everybody's saying the same thing. Although I'd throw BlackRock in there. I think BlackRock has a huge hand in this, in that they work hand in hand with the government on many things. So I think that BlackRock is the conduit now, no longer J.P. Morgan, for rigging, and they control the silver ETF, the biggest one, SLV, which now has over 500. I think it was 550 million ounces. Not sure the exact count, but that's the way that the CFTC has decided, and the DOJ has decided to call the COMEX a legitimate silver market. Is they are attempting to say that all the shorts on the COMEX are hedged with physical silver, and that physical silver happens to be either in a COMEX warehouse or they are an authorized participant within SLV. That's the game now. So the rigging continues, but obviously the riggers are in much weaker hands. JP Morgan had unlimited power to naked short, and that's gone. Naked shorting is gone. Now it's high-frequency traders, which usually close out their trades by the end of the day. So you're going to see huge volumes, but very little change in the open interest, which will be interesting because they're not used to a delivery-type market. So we'll see what happens come December, when the December deliveries happen. Right now, it's 131,000 contracts, which is pretty damn big. But we'll see. We'll find out. Lots going on in that world. And remember, this is bigger than big. You know, if you let gold and silver trade freely, it means you are giving up the control of the monetary system. So I get why they're gonna hang on to it till the very last day. The problem now with the United States, especially, who runs all this, is that the biggest problem is that the world knows. The whole world, even our enemies, know that gold and silver are the key to destroying the U.S. dollar. And so that's where the battles will be. These are, usually this starts some kind of monster shooting war, so let's just hope that doesn't happen, but you never know. And then they're probably going to come out with COVID 2.0, which is kind of scary because the WHO is saying, yeah, let's all go outside again. I'm like, whoa. When the WHO says something, you got to do the opposite. So it might be time to really hunker down. I don't know. I'll play it by ear, and we'll we'll go with it. There's no excuse not for having all your vitamins in you, vitamin D especially, zinc, chaga, vitamin C. But vitamin D, the relationship between the people who die from COVID and the people who survive in COVID, I think it's over like 98%. If you're high in vitamin D, you're not going to die from COVID. Don't quote me on that. This is not medical advice, but it is insane. So, and then if you guys want to talk about, we could talk about silver in the questions. We could talk about anything. Silver and Theta are my favorites right now. If I had any extra money right now, I think I have enough silver, and it's not as mobile, so I'd dump anything I got now into Theta. Theta Fuel maybe even, although that might be a longer play. It probably will go in the 10 to 1, 20 to 1 range, and right now it's 75 to 1. So that'll be an important part of the Theta network too. So the big guys are going to bring Theta Fuel up at some point in time. If you're hodling, yeah, you might want to grab a bunch of Theta Fuel or just do a whole bunch of staking and earn it yourself with your Theta. All right, let's go first to the first question. Miss Amy Weir. And let Amy know if she's loud enough. I always say, you're not loud enough. She says to me, I'm too loud. So, Amy Weir, hello. Say hi to the people.
Hello, everybody.
That was a hi. Can you guys hear Amy? Dun, 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 dun. She's like, yeah, I'm sure they can hear me. Yep. All right. Thank you, Clint.
All right.
All right. First question. Bring it.
Why did you lock up Julian Assange?
Why did they lock up Julian Assange? Probably to protect him, I would think, because you don't want to be a whistleblower against this evil cabal of criminals that have controlled our lives and create wars and poison people and pedo people eating groups. You don't want to be out exposed in that. So that's my take on Assange. I think he'll get out when the good guys win, which is right around the corner. We have a super chat, I see.
We do have a super chat. You want me to skip all the way down to there?
I don't know. They can't hear you now because you're whispering.
Bix DQ, you expect silver to GQ past $75 this year. You are awesome, Bix. Thank you, Roy.
Thank you, Roy. Do I expect to go buy 75,000 this year or $75 this year? Is that the question? I don't know what all that DQ was.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Thank
you for the super chat.
Yeah, silver can go anywhere at any time. Keep an eye on two numbers. Number one is $26. $26 is the 50-day moving average right now. That gets penetrated significantly to the upside. Sometimes they'll penetrate it and then slam it down just to get the weak hands. If that gets penetrated significantly, the next stop is 30 and then 50. 50 being the two-time all-time high of silver. If it passes 50 with steam, yeah, it goes anywhere. It actually, the market's probably shut down at that point. But I do see plus $50, close to $50 by the end of the year. If it hits 75, I think it'll just keep going to the couple hundred right away, because there is no fair market value of silver on planet Earth right now. It's all the derivatives on the COMEX that are being traded. And if they lose control of that, who knows? And how do you price silver? So, yeah, $75. I don't think it would stop at 75, basically. I do think we'll get around 50 and then blow by 50 after the year's out. So that's my take on pricing. But the big thing now is $26, which is the 50-day moving average. And if all these high-frequency traders program in the same thing, boom, you got a big run with nobody selling after 26. Well, probably after 30, but crazy. Anyway, Amy, what's the next question, please?
It's an early on question from Patrick. Isn't HFT going to suppress the silver price even better?
Well, no, I don't think so. The argument that was made by Bloomberg or one of those news agencies, basically the banking cabal, was that what JP Morgan was busted for, what's it called? Spoofing. Spoofing was keeping the high-frequency traders in line. That's bullshit. That's total bullshit. The spoofing wasn't even how they controlled the price. They control the price through the positions that they took, concentrated positions together as a group with the other traders, which they charged actually earlier, being Deutsche Bank and Citibank and Bank of Nova Scotia. They didn't do it by volume. According to Ted, they didn't. It wasn't volume of trade. They would basically run the technical traders up and down. So they'd run the price up, then they'd massively short and crash the price down, and all the technical traders, being the brain diluted, lovely people that they are, don't do their homework and go specifically by numbers. So it became a self-fulfilling prophecy that you can run through the numbers. Now with high frequency trading, they don't take a position at the end of the day. That's why we're seeing there's no change in the open interest. That's at the end of the day, how many contracts are you long or are you short? High frequency traders want to get out and get in and get out in milliseconds. So it'll be really interesting to see who is going to take the real short that might have to be delivered upon. Because if it's still the same banks who've been losing literally billions of dollars all year for the first time ever since at least since computer trading in the 1970s, it'll be a real interesting thing. I don't know anybody, any bank who would be ballsy enough or stupid enough to short into the next rise. And if the banks aren't selling, who's going to sell? High frequency traders can't control that type of situation, especially if they have to deliver. And if you have defaults on delivery, there's another problem for the COMEX, that criminal exchange, and the CFTC, the regulator that runs cover for the criminality. That's my take. All right, Amy, what's the next question, please?
All right. What are your thoughts from Michael Kawa? What are your thoughts on Chainlink crypto? Any potential there?
Yeah, it's a good one. I don't know all that much about it. I remember looking at it. It's not as good as Theta. Nothing's as good as Theta right now. And I like to buy assets that are not fairly valued and not overvalued. I want to buy undervalued assets. And I think the vast majority of the crypto people have no idea what Theta is because they are too stuck in the old crypto world. This is part technology. It's going to be the new internet, and part crypto. And that's how it is. The ecosystem, the economic system is run within Theta, and it's self-sustaining. It's amazing concept. The whole thing, the blockchain, is very much like Hedra-Hashgraph or whatever that thing is, with the Byzantine fault stuff and all that. No, I'm not an expert on it, obviously. Byzantine fault stuff. I read that Byzantine fault tolerance thing, and I'm like, holy crap. This is like one of those quizzes they give you in college, for the extra credit bonus. If you understand this, you get to, you get an extra A++ or whatever they call it. But that's what Theta is as far as the that blockchain. It's ultra fast, ultra cheap, and it can get even cheaper. And they have ways to do that, but it doesn't cost any money right now. It's like a thousandth of a cent compared to Ethereum, which costs a hell of a lot of money when things are hopping. So I think all smart contracts even will jump over to Theta, and they program in the same language. So a lot of the Theta programmers are already moving over to, Ethereum programmers are already moving over to Theta. It's win-win-win. Every time I turn around, there's something new at Theta that video on demand. And those of you who have asked, when am I going to get on Theta? When am I going to get on Theta? I have put in my request for a Theta TV channel. We'll see. There's a lot of kinks that needs to be worked out as far as usability, and I don't know. I'm starting. How's that? So there we have it. All right, Amy, what do we got?
We have a super chat.
We have a super chat. Do-do-do.
Evolution of money. Bix, what's your favorite numismatic coin? Other than junk, dimes, quarters, halves, and the Ruda coin.
My favorite numismatic, it's actually probably a gold coin. The gold St. Gaudens from way back. I just think it's really cool looking. But I'm not a numismatic guy. I get it. I understand how collectibles have money to people, have value to people. But I can't tell you why they do. It's one of those things. A lot of the numismatic collectors will say, it's because it's so beautiful. It's because it's got a fault on it. It's because it's double struck at the time, or a few mintages. All of that is kind of random to me, and a popular thing will go up in price no matter what the reason. So I'm not a numismatic. I don't think they'll ever go to we're only gonna confiscate non-numismatics. That's not gonna happen again. It really didn't even happen in the beginning, although that was the law supposedly. Nobody turned in gold in. Would you turn your gold into the government if they said turn your gold in? What really happened is a lot of people lost a lot of gold by burying it, and they forgot where it was, or they moved on, or they died, and it's just sitting there in the ground now. So I'm not a numismatic guy. But if you're interested in that stuff and you know what makes it go up and down and why and when, go for it. So there you go. Next question, please, Amy.
Let's see. How's Cliff High?
How's Cliff High? I hear from Cliff every once in a while. He's pretty active on Twitter, so you guys should go to his Twitter. I forgot his handle on Twitter. Somebody write down Cliff's handle on. He had to change it, but he's pretty active. I think he's doing well. He's fighting these lawsuits with the Blue Chicken Cult. He's hunkering down. He's working on his magnets and his flying cars and things like that. So, but he's doing pretty well. It's not easy for him. It's not easy for any of us. So Cliff is not going to stray far from Kathy, and he's going to take care of his family first and foremost. So that's what Cliff's doing, and bravo to him. All right, next question, please.
Yes. Can you give an update or insight on Litecoin?
Yeah. Well, I heard John Kim come out and say there's some big news for Litecoin by the end of the year, which is awesome. I love Litecoin. Litecoin is my number 2 coin. It is especially when the banks start failing. If the banks start failing, or when the banks start failing, will be the means of exchange. I believe. Now, Lightning Network, I don't think the Bitcoin core developers want anything to do with Lightning Network, but Litecoin does. And then atomic swaps and all that. I think it's very easy for countries to move over to a system using Litecoin. But I think it'll be one of many, but probably one of the favorites. So yes, I really like Litecoin. I like Litecoin a hell of a lot more than Bitcoin. I think very similar to what's going to happen in silver, 4-to-1 silver to gold ratio. I think Litecoin and Bitcoin will go 4-to-1. And it might be that Bitcoin starts rising, then people figure out what a pain in the ass it is to work with, and then it starts falling as Litecoin is still rising, because it is not a pain in the ass to work with. But I do think at some point it'll go 4-to-1. I can't tell you when that point is, but it's a good one. That's my take on Litecoin. And Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. People keep saying, well, why do you say Litecoin is the right coin, but you're telling people to invest in Theta? I want people to invest in the cheapest coin right now. So, yeah, Theta, I think, is the cheapest compared to what it's going to do. Litecoin's good, but there you have it. And Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Don't forget the second part of the lyric. Next, please.
All right.
Is that Jean-Claude? Hello, Jean-Claude. And Josh Lake. Oh, it's old party week. Let's go.
All right.
Jean-Claude, call me let's do an interview. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. I'm cutting off the moderator. Go ahead, Miss Moderator.
Lisa Lyons asks, do you think they can crack Monero, and how well do you think the IRS reach will be with cryptos?
I don't think they can crack Monero, but that doesn't mean Monero will do great. Doesn't mean it will do great. The problem I've always had with the privacy coins is that they are targets. They are targets of government regulators, and all the people who deal in Monero are going to be targets of regulators as well. I don't want to sit there with a target on my back when the governments are going crazy. So, yeah, I don't think they can crack it, but they'll be trying to arrest anybody associated with it. That's my take on privacy coins. But then again, can they do that? Can they find out who these people are? I don't know. But it definitely won't be very useful as far as the exchanges, as getting your money out. Yeah, you can keep it in Monero, but to get your money out, all the government's going to say, no, don't you dare, you Mr. Exchange, if you're exchanging this coin, or this coin, we're going to shut down your exchange. They're just not going to do it. So there you go.
All right. Benny and Sonia want to buy a plot of land for like-minded people to live on and share together as the new world unfolds. And so Josh Lake would like to know, Josh Lake, would you ever consider doing something similar?
We got family all over the place. Thank you, Josh Lake. So that's a question from Josh, not Benny and Sonia.
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's already been done. First, I'd say it's already been done, and it failed miserably. It was Galt's Gulch down in South America. A bunch of crypto people tried to put it all together, and the problem is you get big money people, you get medium money people, you get shysters, you get a little bit of everything when you do a commune. Like-minded people tend to have very strong beliefs in everything, not just cryptocurrencies. So friends and family, yeah, definitely get yourself a little commune. A whole group of like-minded people might be a little difficult. But I don't know, Josh, do it. You and Paige can start out as the like-minded people, and it'll grow from there. There we go.
All right. Lyndon Orvis asks, seriously, do you see a day when the gold, silver markets are not rigged without a total financial meltdown?
No, the financial meltdown is necessary for us to get out of the control of the bankers who control our lives. They have it all. They got 99% of everything. So we will. It is required if we're going to free ourselves from these people. It would be required a total financial meltdown. If they try to skirt their way around it, then we don't have freedom, and we won't have freedom. So it does come down to the only way to take their power away is to take their power of money away, and the only way to do that is to destroy the old system. Mainly because they own 99.9% of it. So we get to play with the pennies. And that's why nothing like Nesra or Jesra, the great financial system, the quantum, it's all bull crap. And I've been through it so many times before. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times. It's the Iraqi dinar, Bix. It's the freedom funds. It's the blah, 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 blah. Every single one has the same problem. It doesn't get rid of the old system. They try to work around the old system, reevaluate the old system, and they don't understand that 99.9% of the money out there, that derivative wealth, the paper wealth, all wealth is held by the criminals who run our system. So anything that happens that tries to rejigger what we already have currently, they're still going to be winning by far. So no, you can't. Those don't work in my book. Okay, next, please.
Mm-hmm. Actually, not a lot of questions coming through. Scott Helton asks, wouldn't stable coins take the place of the use case of Litecoin?
No, stable coins are coins that will be, they're basically.
Make sure you repeat the question I asked you too, because
No, they can hear it because you're loud enough, right?
Right.
Did you guys hear Amy's coin about stable coin?
Somebody told me
question?
to turn it up, and somebody said repeat the question.
Let Amy know. I'm telling her to scream, but she refuses. Okay. Will the growth of stable coins overtake or compete with Litecoin? Stable coins are doomed to failure. First of all, they're linked to unbacked fiat money. It's the exact opposite of what a crypto is. The big problem with stable coins is they don't hold the coins. None of them, not one of them, hold the coins just look at the volumes, and that'll tell you exactly what's going on. The volume of Tether is so ridiculous that you just sit there and you scratch your head and say, how is this even allowed? It's allowed because the CFTC and the SEC, none of them, not one of them, as of today, says they monitor those markets, those exchanges. There is no regulation. So it's a free for all. They can do anything they want. A stable coin, for the most part, is a con. And if you have an exchange, a lot of the exchanges are starting up. If you have an exchange that says, no, 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 we're back 1-for-1, I would like you to tell them to look at your volumes and tell me how 150% of your stable coin total value is traded every day. I would say bullshit. And that's the thing you got to do in unregulated markets and the cryptocurrencies, especially. You got to call bullshit when bullshit is pulled. And I've been trying to do that as much as I can. So, yeah, that's my take on stablecoins. I'm not a fan. Maybe it stems from the criminality at Tether, but I don't see anything that has changed all that much with the other stablecoins. So no, I'm not a fan. If you want to hold, and the funny thing is, those people who are out there trading stable coins for Bitcoin, those are not like-kind exchanges. Those are taxable events. You guys got to get that in your mind. The tax man is coming for you if you're doing that thinking you're going to get out of taxes as long as you don't put it in US dollars. No, no, no. Those are not like-kind exchanges. So, yeah, better double think that. All right, Amy, next question, please.
John just asked, if the US dollar becomes gold-backed, what will the gold be repriced at per ounce?
Well, that's a great question, actually. And as a matter of fact, you can read the Road to Ruta comic book, and it talks about going back to a gold standard. And the Banking Basics book that came with it from the Federal Reserve shows a little girl walking up with 19 gold coins and getting a stack of bills. So what will the value of the currency be worth if gold is introduced as backing? It depends. I don't think there's any way possible to back the U.S. dollar today, the current U.S. dollars that are out there. And the reason is they don't know how many there are and what counts as a U.S. dollar. Does a treasury note count as a dollar? Do bills count as a dollar? Do electronic blips at banks count as a dollar? They don't even know the total amount of dollars there are out there, so how could you value gold? If gold were to be returned to a sound monetary system, say after a total collapse of the banking system, the derivative bubble goes off and everybody loses everything, then you could do something like that. You reallocate money. Greenspan's idea was according to social security balances, which is pretty good. Plus, like a stipend to start with. A universal basic income might be the perfect way to get that implemented. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, as long as it's not something gigantic, because it disincentivizes people to work. And the socialists just don't understand that, and that's what destroys socialist systems, is nobody wants to work. They want everything for free. Give me my free health care. Give me my college education. Write off my college loan. Are you kidding me? So we pay you to go to college, to party for 4 years or 8 years or 10 years, and then you become a professor and can't afford to pay your college ticket, and you want us to pay for it, the taxpayer. What's wrong with that picture? So, yeah, it's interesting how you value the underlying currency. It probably won't be the current U.S. dollar, current fiat monetary system. There's just too much out there. But in a new system, how would you value it? And I think it would have to be redeemable at a bank. That's the only way you can keep your government in check with how many pieces of paper they print or electronic blips they give out. That is a claim on gold. So it's a little complicated, but they've had 110 years to think about this and figure something out. So I think they got a good idea of what they want to do. Next question, please.
Okay, it's kind of two people are asking about silver right now. Wanderer 22, he says, I used to say that any silver under $20 was a bargain. What is the new threshold that we should consider as cheap? And then Danny Micah asked, do you believe in silver-backed cryptocurrencies?
So cheap silver is anything under $500 right now. I mean, that's just a fact. You're going to look back at these prices and say, "Oh my God, I had a chance to buy silver at $35, and I never pulled the trigger because I was waiting for a pullback." If you're waiting for a pullback, I think the 200-day moving average is around $19. And will the high frequency traders gun for that? I don't know, and I don't care. Any time is the right time to buy silver. It's been price suppressed for 150 years. So yeah, if you're waiting, if you're not looking to sell tomorrow, if you're a trader, that's a different deal. If you're going to trade in and out, day to day, week to week, whatever, you're looking for a short term gain or something like that. Yeah, that's a crapshoot. You need the inside programs that companies like Virtu Financial are running, and you need to know what Steve Mnuchin's going to do tomorrow to the price of silver to be a trader, a successful one. So, as far as crypto-backed or silver-backed cryptocurrencies, it actually makes silver worse, but at the same time, it makes the crypto worse, but makes silver a little more manageable. So the only reason to do a silver-backed cryptocurrency is for two things. One, silver lovers who don't understand cryptos. You don't want any third-party risk when you have a cryptocurrency. You don't want any third parties involved at all. So obviously having silver in a warehouse is not good for the cryptocurrency. But that's not a bad thing. What the silver lovers do who are going to use this, they're fixing a problem that silver has, not that crypto has. The problem that silver has is not as fungible. It's not as, you can't use it in daily transactions. So that would be the only good thing about a silver-backed crypto is that it makes silver more usable, which is a good thing. But is the future got to do with anything related to silver and money? I don't think so. So we'll see how it goes, but it'll obviously go up with the price of silver. So if you think that's a good idea, go for it. But it really is a silver problem that's being solved, not a crypto problem. All right, next, please.
All right. Kennedy Dry asks, will the Grand Canyon gold save the U.S. people in the coming financial and monetary Armageddon?
Well, I don't know. First of all, I don't think it'll be mined. There's some that is just sitting there, some within the caves within the Grand Canyon that are, in these intricate, beautiful statues and plaques, and there's gold bars that were minted eons ago type of thing. There's just so much going on in the Grand Canyon. And then there's the gold that's in the ground. And so I don't know. I wouldn't say it would save the U.S. We're going to be fine once we get these criminal banksters out of here. And remember, all debt goes away. We'll have to figure out who owns what assets and how that's going to work. But these problems are what they use to make sure that they're never taken down. It's what the criminal bankers have used for over 100 years to make sure that they get off scot-free. They always get a bailout. They never get anything more than a slap on the wrist. Because if you do take them out, it destroys the entire system, and it's so interwoven in our lives these days. So it'll be interesting where it goes. It's not going to be pretty any way it goes. So that's why I'm a big advocate having silver in your own possession, cryptos in your own possession. Get your lawn chair out, crack a beer, and watch the insanity. That's my advice. That's good advice. Next question, please, Amy.
All right, Gregory Tanaka.
Gregory Tanaka. Hey, I have your. I watched your video. Unbelievable. I gotta give it to you back. So we gotta have some coffee. Okay.
Bix, will we be taxed when we sell physical silver or gold in, say, 3 years? And if so, at what rate?
Well, legally, Gregory, we're taxed today at the capital gains tax, I believe. Yeah. So now, does any government agency really track that? Not really. The dealers are supposed to. I don't like selling silver, so I don't have to deal with it very much. But I think it is treated, you guys can help me out, commodity, at least silver, physical silver, as treated like a long-term or a capital gains. So short-term, if you hold it for less than a year, you pay a certain amount, and long-term over a year. I would guess those rates would go up, given that the government is going to be hurting for income. I think massive firings are going to happen at every government agency, local, state, federal. I don't think anything more than like 5% of the current size will survive. So yeah, everything's going to be different. And if they have to fire everybody or tax everybody, who are they going to tax, and who are they? It gets ugly really fast. We just got to start fresh with a new system. So, thank you for that question. Next question.
Good question. Does every Federal Reserve note have a unique serial number?
They are supposed to, but here's the big but. There's printing presses in Russia, China, and I believe a couple South American countries that they print $100 bills as well. And who knows what kind of numbering system they're doing. So massive amounts. They call the $100 bill a super note. And the reason they call it a super note is because it's the most counterfeited bill in America. I don't know if they can counterfeit the new one, the one with the gold all over it, and the talk about overthrowing your government right there on the front of it. But yeah, it's within the U.S. when the U.S. was it the Mint, or I don't know if it's the Mint. Who makes the paper bills? I don't remember. But they're supposed to have unique serial numbers. So yeah. Hey, by the way, everybody, give me a like and thumbs up, because I heard that's important if you're on YouTube. How's that? All right. Next question, please.
All right. This one's gonna probably be a long one. RT asks, how come the silver price can go up if we are in a deflationary economy?
Oh, that's easy. Silver's rigged. It's just rigged every day. Computer programs, click, set the price, go home. You can program it out for, I think they said it was 6 months that they were doing a run back in the early GATA days, where you just set a boundary. It won't allow it to go up over X amount, and won't allow it to go down or under X amount. And then you issue automatic purchases or sales when you have the exchange stabilization fund and unlimited funds. It doesn't matter. And you can make it price go down and make the price go up. And it's been like that since Greenspan invented the computer programs in the 70s. So that's what, if you're talking price, that's all you got to think about. Next, please.
Thank you, Evan Spellman, for the super chat.
Thank you, Evan.
He says he can't thank you enough for Theta info. Silver will eventually break out, get past the election, and see where things are.
That is a great way to think about things. Mm-hmm. Theta is great. Silver will break out when it's allowed to, and let's just get past the election and see what happens. I don't know if Joe's going to make it. I heard he's got a little cough and sore throat and maybe issue. I know he had a couple more gaffes. It's like every 4 words that come out of his mouth are screw-ups. So they're probably going to hide him till the election. So there we go.
Wanderer 2020 says, Mike Malone says to buy 500 ounces of silver for every ounce of gold you own. Does that sound about right? Do you have a different ratio you prefer? No gold at all?
I love Mike Maloney. He's awesome. Yeah, no gold at all. Once you understand the silver story versus the gold story, silver story meaning massive scarcity, as in they had to close down the Y12 facility at the Manhattan Project in the 1990s to get the silver out because there wasn't any. And then the gold question, and silver is absolutely necessary for pretty much everything we do in a high-tech world. Gold doesn't matter. Nobody cares if there's no gold. Gold is a store of value and jewelry for the most part. And there's so much of it. Oh my God. As in, Jeffrey Christian will tell you 200,000 tons. I don't know how much there is. my last count of all the conspiracy stuff I've tracked down is 3 to 4 million tons. So Jeffrey says 200,000. I'm saying 3 to 4 million. So yeah, why would you want to own gold when you could take an ounce of gold, walk in and get 70 ounces of silver? So I love Mike Maloney. Don't get me wrong, but he knows just as well as I know. The real only reason he's holding that gold is for just cause. The real play is silver. It does the exact same thing on a monetary side as gold does, but it's got this whole other world that we need for the future. And there's massive amounts of gold and very little silver, and I can give you 100 reasons. That's why I sold my last gold ounce a while ago for, I think it was 80 silver ounces. All right, there you go.
If you sell crypto, this is from David Fleming. If you sell crypto, are you required to pay federal taxes on the gain?
Yes. The answer is yes. Yeah, or if you swap crypto for another crypto, that's that. And I am no tax consultant, so consult your tax consultants. But most tax consultants will say, yeah, that's a capital gain. So, yep.
All right. Startup admin asks, is Theta Guardian staking requirement being lowered to 1,000?
I heard that staking will be moving to 1,000. I don't know at what price, but I think that's one of the plans within a year. I don't know. I've heard rumors. They definitely have some lofty goals that they set when they unstaked their 32 million tokens. And one of those goals was to get, I think, tens of thousands of Guardian node holders. You can't do that at 10,000 Theta. So, but at 1,000, you might be able to. So yeah, try to get the 10,000, and then you can use the G Pool Guardian node summary to do all the work for you. Or join the road to Ruta. Go ahead. Next, please.
All right. Schmuggle Ard Bix, thanks for all the content. Will Bitcoin hit 13,888 during the next run?
Sounds like a Cliff High number. Sure. I think the next pushback for Bitcoin, if it does start to run like an uncontrolled run like we saw before, it'll be around 19,000, 20,000 that it'll probably pull back before the next run up. But it could happen at any moment. They're keep an eye on the Mt. Gox trustee. Remember, in 2017, in December, that was when Christian Carlo Trump Mnuchin got the trustee to sell all that Bitcoin, and they rigged the markets. And it was a huge move that they made so that the cryptos didn't run away with it. And it was admitted to by Christian Carlo, who was the head of the CFTC. It is completely illegal, immoral, and all the other ills out there. He's supposed to be the grandfather of cryptocurrency because he was so pro-crypto. He screwed us in 2017 into 18. And they used the Mt. Gox trustee bankruptcy collateral to do it. It's just the criminality doesn't stop with governments. It doesn't stop with banks. It goes right into governments, and it's everywhere. So, yeah, that's what I think. All right.
All right. Thank you, Skullcap Savant, for the super
Oh,
chat.
that's a Theta guy, the Theta TV.
Awesome. He's wondering if you're still up for an Oz conversation on Theta TV.
Maybe. Lots going on right now. I'm trying to get my own Theta TV channel and get working on that, and join you guys out there as an early crypto guy, crypto talker on Theta TV. But maybe send me another email. I know I got one. We've been really busy and traveling, and so send me another one. All right, next, please.
Josh Lake asks, do you think Ben will ever get back on YouTube?
I do. I do think Ben Simshi, I mean Bitcoin Ben, we'll get back on YouTube after the good guys beat the bad guys. So I do think that a lot of the YouTube management will be taken down. It's deep state bad news all the way. and will be replaced with other people, because it was Google and YouTube were all started by funding from the federal government. So it is yours, mine, and everybody. Anybody who says it's a private company, they can do anything I want. No, my tax dollars were used to begin and promote Google and YouTube, and easily provable. The U.S. government even says they have many capital funds that invest in startup technologies because they want to control it. So I have no problem arguing that YouTube and Google needs a change of management, and hopefully it'll happen right after the election. There's my take. So, and yes, change of management. The first guy they're going to get back is Bitcoin Ben.
All right. 2 questions kind of related from 2 different people. Sean Zaman, how about First Majestic silver mining stock? Will they shut down when silver spikes? And then we also have another one about Silversmith asked, Bix, in the past you have said mining stocks are a bad idea, but I have made lots of money on them, and now Trump has made them critical to security. Have you changed your thoughts on this?
No, not at all. Because there's a lot of investments that you can make a lot of money on to a point. A mining stock, your problem comes when the financial system starts seizing. We've already seen some mines shut down from the big miners. Most of them have foreign holdings. If there is a financial collapse, all your mining stocks will probably be worth zero. Why? Because every country around the world will be saying, oh my God, what are we going to do? Let's just take all this gold and silver we have in the ground. This is the people's silver. It's not some rich investor from California or from the United States. That's my take on mining. Although I would also say that mining CEOs, other than First Majestic's got a good CEO, but the vast majority of them are part and parcel either really stupid, like beyond stupid, or corrupt with the criminal cabal that rigs their only commodity. These mining companies of gold and silver, CEOs have done nothing to stop this, even though guys like me and Ted Butler and so many others have been screaming about it. They have done nothing. They should all be fired. Every single one of them, except the ones that spoke out. First Majestic, they're doing some good stuff. And yeah, but you're not loud enough. All you CEOs, number one, you should step down right now, because it was just proven after you were told for 20 years that gold and silver were rigged. We even told you who did it. You didn't do anything about it. You should step down as the CEO of your mining company and have your board of directors step down. So, no, I'll never invest in a company that doesn't take care of their shareholders. That's it. End of rant. Everybody said Amy's got to be louder. Not everybody. Some people.
Nope.
I got to get another mic.
Yeah.
Next question, please.
Could I run a Theta Edge node? I'm sorry, Holy Cruncher. Could I run a Theta Edge node on multiple machines?
The answer is yes. As many machines as you want. Yeah. And you can run a Guardian node on all the machines, but it'd be the same node. But the Edge cacher, yeah, you can run it on as many machines as you want. There's a little bit of it has to be a decent computer. There's some technical hurdles you got to beat, but I ran it on my laptop that was like 3 years old, and it's running fine. So yes, you don't. If you have a bunch of computers, you can probably afford to get yourself a Guardian node, which will make a hell of a lot more Theta fuel than on an Edge node. That's my take. All right, next question, please.
Okay. DW, in the long run, 10 years, is Ethereum a cheaper, or will another token do what it does cheaper and faster? Oh, I'm sorry. Is Ethereum a keeper?
A keeper. There already are many blockchains that do it cheaper and faster than Ethereum. Ethereum is working on it. They've been working on it for a little too long, And we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right now, not many people are moving from Ethereum. They're waiting for Ethereum to pick it up and be cheap and fast and usable. But when Theta comes out with the smart contract capabilities later this year, and the Theta programmers program in the same language that the Ethereum programmers program in, I heard a bunch are going to be moving over unless Ethereum gets its shit together and improves the speed and functionality of their blockchain and cost structures off crazy. I mean, you look at the cost of doing an Ethereum transaction versus a Theta transaction, it's night and day. Thetas are like microcents for each transaction, and it's lightning fast. And all the ERC20 tokens that are on Ethereum can easily port over to Theta. So that's my take. Amy, what's the next question, please?
Are you concerned about your channel being taken down? Do you have a backup?
I absolutely am concerned about the Road to Ruta channel get taken down and my information not getting out there. That's why I have had to self-edit for over a year now. I've got one strike against me. They're not going to, I don't think they'll shut me down for exposing the criminality at the banking system, because I think both the good guys and the bad guys want that exposed now. They want to end that old system. So it is, I don't know, one day they might just shut me off like they did Ben. I have all my videos in backup. I got my Patreon channel, although that is linked to the YouTube stuff. But it'd be a pain in the ass to get everything back online. But I'm going on to Theta soon, Theta TV. BitChute's always an option. I've got it. Yeah, it's just a pain in the butt right now. And I'm trying to keep that in my mind that I gotta watch myself at the moment in time on YouTube. And anybody on YouTube has to toe the party line, but it's so important to stay in there because it's such a gigantic network. And after the good guys win and after all the YouTube people are thrown in jail, then we'll see what happens to YouTube and if free speech is brought back. That's my take. Amy, next question, please.
All right. Challenged Investor asks, will Trump end the Patriot Act?
Oh, well, I think he had a chance and he didn't do it. He uses it to his advantage, like Trump does with everything. He uses market manipulation to his advantage. Should he stop manipulating the market? Absolutely. Should the United States end the Patriot Act? Absolutely. Is it happening? No. I can see his argument. I gotta fight the bad guys. Are you kidding? I need those tools to capture them. But so what if he loses? I don't think he'll lose, but what if he does? Can you imagine the world we'll be in after that? Holy moly. I don't even want to think about it. So, all right. Amy, what's the next question, please?
All right. 2 questions. JW asks, how do we buy Veritasium?
Veritasium got screwed by the SEC. The SEC is racist, number 1. Number 2 is criminal. And number 3 is bought and paid for by the criminal banking cabal. They did it on purpose because he invented a solution to our biggest problem. Biggest problem being the criminality at the banks. Can't do that, Reggie. Sorry. But, yes, you can buy Veritasium still. It's like buying a lottery ticket. Probably be worth 0. It could be worth a hell of a lot. But probably be worth 0. I think you can get on Mercatox was the last one I got it on. But if you go to like CoinMarketCap, and it'll tell you what exchanges these coins are traded on. It's very illiquid. If you go in there with $1,000, you'll probably move the price 50 cents or something. Craziness. Cliff's Data had the government coming to Reggie when all the shit falls apart, and Reggie coming to save the day with Veritasium, and then Veritasium goes 1-to-1 with Bitcoin. Will that happen? If that does, then yes, that's the lottery ticket theory. The odds of that happening in the near future are very small. So that's where we are. Amy, next question, please.
Second Theta, crypto purchase question. Greg Shepard How can we buy Theta with cash, then later sell our Theta for cash?
I don't think you can because Theta is not allowed on a lot of the exchanges that take cash. Now you can use your cash, buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, and then trade your Bitcoin for Vertasium. So it's just an extra step, but yeah, go to Coinbase and get any crypto you want. Soon to have Theta. All right, we still on live. You're live.
It just kind of blipped.
Yeah. Okay, next, please.
Okay. Hold on. It kind of flipped a little bit fast here. If USA Patriot HK45. If I already bought over 4,000 Theta on CoinSwitch, can I use to create a Guardian node?
You need currently you need 10,000 Theta to start minimum to start a Guardian node, and you can add as much as you want. But no, you need 10,000. So go buy 6,000 more. There you go. I'm going to read a question that I just saw run by.
Okay.
Nick R asks, "How did you manage to marry Amy? She's way too beautiful for you." I agree. I agree with that one. There you go, Amy.
Thank you. Schmuggle Art asked, what VPN service do you recommend? I have Theta, Theta Fuel, and but would like to sell at some point.
VPN
service.
I thought VPN was the you guys, you techie guys, help out in the chat room with the VPN. I don't know anything about VPNs. I would, if you're gonna sell Theta, Binance, if you're locked in there, if they allow you, if you're a grandfathered, or get a broker like Caleb and Brown, that a foreign broker, because the U.S. is probably right now one of the most anti-crypto countries in the world, and we are going to fall behind if we keep this position. We're going to fall behind so far; it's going to be embarrassing. I think it's a big mistake from the regulators and the Trump administration to stay anti-crypto. VPN, virtual private network. Oh yeah. So yeah, you don't sell on a VPN. That just keeps all your stuff private. So if you're trying to hide from the government, I don't recommend it at all. You'll do fine paying whatever the government tells you to pay in taxes, but yeah, you don't want to be at the wrong end of a government that is pissed off at you. So work with us down the road to Ruta. Next, please, Amy.
Would you sell PT Cruiser, or Vi PT Cruiser asks, would you trade your salt for Theta?
Salt's not worth anything right now. Yeah, that, although they got busted by the SEC because the SEC was just looking for anything they could hit, and you can get your original money back. So anybody who bought it, I think it was $1.50 that I had recommended it at the ICO. Anybody who bought at the ICO can get any losses recouped from them. I'm not sure how it all works, but yeah, if you want to go down that path, Salt is still a great company, up and running and giving out loans and working on decentralization of what they're doing. It's just that their currency got destroyed in the slam down. Their token got destroyed in the slam down because those who held cryptos as collateral, when it got that slammed down 90%, everybody had to puke up their crypto. But on the flip side of that, most of them made out even better because when you take a Salt loan, you get cash, unless they bought crypto with the Salt loan. It's a little complicated, but yeah, definitely contact Salt if you're sitting on Salt and you think that you can, potentially get refunded. And the government made them do it, so might as well. They've got money. They raised a hell of a lot of money back in the day. So that's my take. Next, please.
All right, thank you. Super chat from Robert Crescelius. Did you notice that the
Economist?
Economist magazine, thank you, cover with the phoenix had the theta letter symbol in the center, and the fire below is like T-fuel.
No, 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 no. It's close. It's a circle. You know, the theta symbol is a circle with a little block eye in the middle of it. The Economist magazine is a circle with a slash through the middle of the O. It's very important signal for what was going on in the Grand Canyon, as you might have seen on the road to Ruta with the gold bars with the cryptography all over them, and the slash with the zero through it, or zero with the slash through it. It's not even the theta letter. It looks like theta. It looks like a zero too, but it isn't. The most important thing about it is it's the zero, and the slash pierces the zero, and it's got special meaning in the Illuminati world and all that stuff. So yeah, it's not. That's not a theta, a Greek alphabet letter, and if you compare the two, you'll see the difference. All right, next, please.
Josh Park asks, pensions are a big issue, and my question is, what will happen to silver and crypto when the system fails? That's kind of two.
That's two different questions. If the system fails, pensions are gone. They're worth zero. In that scenario, yeah, gold and silver will be worth massive amounts. You won't even know what they're worth. The exchanges will be shut down. So yeah, if the system fails, fiat money fails, and that's stocks, bonds, dollars, cash in the bank. It's the bank that's going to fail because they're all interconnected to each other through derivatives, through like customers, and it is a fractional reserve system. It doesn't take much in losses for these banks to implode. And with 200 to 300 quadrillion in derivatives, and the system going sideways every which way, they're trying to cover everything up, but they're not going to be able to and they don't want to ultimately at the end. It's all about when are they going to pull the plug. I think it's going to be between now and the end of the year. Keep an eye on next week, too, for the stock market crash. It'll be really interesting. So, next, please.
John asks, are you familiar with Darren Moore Jr. and the XRP story he is presenting?
I don't know Darren Moore Jr. I do know XRP is a centralized banker coin. I don't want anything to do with it. They pay trolls to go on my channel. I don't want anything to do with them. I am not a fan of XRP. The quantum financial system is a joke. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing that anybody believes it. Mainly because I think they're saying, get yourself some XRP. XRP is 100% centralized in the hands of Ripple. And the SEC has already said it's illegal for them to do that with the DAO. Anyway, with the ruling they had back in July of 2017. I don't know why people are getting whooped up about this. How many times have we been down this road? The Iraqi dinar is going to save the world. We're going to back all the U.S. dollars with gold. We don't have to worry because we got the prosperity funds in China. We got Yamashita's gold. We got all this stuff. A lot of that stuff's real, but it's complete bullshit. How are you going to get 7 billion people to agree to have the same financial system? How are you going to get people who've lost everything to look at these intellectual financial leaders and buy into their system? It ain't going to happen. So, and it's in the Road to Ruta documents, it doesn't happen that way. Next, please.
All right. If you have Wander 2020, if you have $10,000 to invest for the long term, how do you split it between silver and theta? 50-50?
Right now, well, it's hard. It's hard to know which is going to pop first. Yeah, I do 50. If you don't have any right now, I do 50% theta, 50% physical silver, probably pre-65 coinage. And theta get definitely enough to get a Guardian node up and running and cranking out some T-fuel for the future. Or maybe even buy some T-fuel and wait for the revaluation of, this right now it's like 75 to 1. In order for the Theta network to work, which all these big players want it to work, you're going to have T fuel being valuable for people to say, oh my God, I can make some money running this edge node cacher and earn some T fuel that's trading at $1 or $2 a piece, and I'm earning them. This is cool. Without that, if they stay at 75 to 1 or go to 200 to 1 or whatever, the incentive isn't there. So what's going to happen? The people who want it to work, which is pretty much all these big guys, are going to start buying it, and it doesn't take much. On T Fuel, there's only one big seller in all the markets right now, and it's Binance, because they ended up with massive amounts. I think they got 90 million Theta at least staked, and at 5 to 1, that's a hell of a lot of T Fuel that they're sitting on. But it'll be worth a lot at some point, and they can definitely, Binance rigs their coins all the time. So you saw T Fuel go from, I think, 100 to 1 to had to go about 20 to 1 in a blink of an eye. So T Fuel is going to be the wild and crazy one. But it might take a while. Not sure. Anyway, next question, please.
We're at 66 minutes, dude. How far do you want?
We're at 66 minutes. I'm fine if there's more questions.
Okay.
And is the moderator getting tired?
I'm fine.
Okay. Moderator's fine.
RT asks, are you familiar with Kim Go-Gwen and the new QFS? Is she legit or hoax?
She's legit, but she's wrong. So the quantum financial system, again, the same thing I just went on a rant about. The quantum financial system is another way to rearrange the monetary system that misses the whole point that 99% of what's already out there is controlled by just a tiny handful of people. And it doesn't fix the problem. It continues the slave system that we're living under. And that's it. There's just so many, I've seen it so many times, and they all come and go. The quantum financial system isn't even a well-constructed one. The other ones are better. But no, I think it's going to be worthless.
Okay. There's a string of questions, and they have kind of a similar, I don't know what you want to call it. Michelle Casillas, if the banks fail, what happens to the normal person's mortgage?
It goes away.
We go pay it off with a bar of silver?
No. Banks fail, there is no mortgage. Now, there is no mortgage anyway. The banks take their mortgages. They don't hold it. They sell it off into mortgage-backed securities. A lot of them are bought by China and retirement funds. And then the deed and the mortgage documents go to the DTCC, ultimately controlled and held by Seed and Company, which is the bad guy's main hold. They own like 99% of the assets on planet Earth. But no, if everybody's bank folds, no, you get your house flat out. But that would be probably the least of your issues and problems, because you won't be out getting electricity, any food, and so it's crazy. The world we're going to be walking into is completely odd, but it was all planned. It's been planned for at least since I would say Alan Greenspan invented the first computer programs, because that's what they talk about in the Wishes and Rainbow comic book, is how to reallocate assets when they all go away. And the idea is reallocating according to Social Security balances. And this is just in the U.S. Every other country is going to do something different. So there won't be any trading going back and forth to countries. So it's just going to be really different. And we'll get through it, but it might take like 10 years of rethinking on how to feed yourself and not having healthcare as an option. Go back to churches. Churches used to provide all the healthcare before the big healthcare system came into being. So everything's going to be different. But yeah, your bank account will be gone. No, if the banks collapse, people ask that quite a bit, actually. Well, if the banks collapse, I'll have no money to pay my mortgage. If the banks collapse, you'll have no mortgage to pay. You got squatters' rights. Just keep your house. No one's going to throw you out. Everybody's in the same boat. So, next, please. Next question.
You answered quite a few questions all in that one thing. There's
I knew they were coming.
Common thread on this one. This one, though, John asks, if the dollar fails and the government implements another currency, even if they call it the digital dollar, is there any way they can enforce our mortgages?
They wouldn't want to. No, there'll be such a backlash against not only banks, because it's the banks that caused this problem. The banks are massively levered. JP Morgan itself has $59 trillion in derivatives. They caused this problem. They rig every market. They're the criminals here. So, and a lot of your lovely congressmen will be thrown out with the bathwater as well, because they're bought and paid for by the criminal banking cabal or the pedophiles or the deep state. And it's all a cesspool. So good luck coming for anybody's mortgage. Now, if it's a one-off mortgage, yeah, they'll come for you. If it's a whole society that collapses, no, your mortgage is gone. All debt is gone because all your assets are gone too. Next question, please.
All right. Do you see, from Rock Your Pain, do you see Theta's patent proving protection against appropriations by non-U.S. companies?
Say that again 5 times fast. Patent proving protection?
Yes. Patent providing.
Oh.
Theta's patent providing protection against appropriations by non-U.S. companies.
Yeah, I do, because anybody who believes in contract rights, any country that upholds contract rights, a lot of these companies do. And Theta is not a U.S. centric company. It'll probably be mostly used in Asia and Africa, and it's a global company. Anywhere they ship a cell phone or a flat screen TV, will be able to download and run a Theta cache node cacher. So it's not, you shouldn't be thinking of Theta as just U.S. based. I would guess most of the population's in Asia. So I would say, and the Samsung partnership and all that stuff, it's gonna be huge over there. They're even bigger into gaming, I think, in Japan and China, and so yeah, I think Theta is the uniquely positioned amongst cryptocurrencies in that the good guys want it to happen, the bad guys want it to happen, the telecoms, all the network content providers like Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, all of them, they need it to happen. They don't just want it to happen, they need it to happen. They need that bandwidth, and that's the only way right now that there's a couple options, but Theta is far and away the best crypto option, and the way it's put together and the self-sustaining aspects of it. So, yeah, I think Theta is golden child. And once they got that patent, it was obvious, because a lot of crypto companies will apply for patents, it'll be years and never see them. I don't think Reggie ever got his. And Theta got it like instantaneously. It tells you, they're on the inside of both good guys and the bad guys, because both of them know we're going into a high-tech sci-fi future, and that requires massive amounts of bandwidth for all the Internet of Things. It cannot happen today. We need to fix that problem, and that's why Theta was started up. These guys saw the problem coming down the pike and got major investors involved early. So yeah. Buy your Theta. How many times do I have to tell you? Buy your Theta. Next, please.
All right. Yui Ustick, have you taken a look at Atari Token?
I heard about it briefly. Litecoin is associated with it, I think. No, I have not. I haven't been researching many tokens. I just think Theta is so massively undervalued at this moment. Now is the time to focus on it, concentrate it, and don't invest in anything else until the world figures out, oh, that's what that token does. So that's my take.
Right. Random Frickin' Hero asks, Why did JFK want to go back to a silver standard as opposed to a gold standard?
Well, there's a lot of I've read a lot of papers on that. Well, the gold in versus silver was obvious. The silver would have taken out the banks. Gold, they had massive amounts of gold. They didn't have massive amounts of silver. All the silver, and here's the problem, and maybe one of the reasons they took out JFK, the silver that was going to back those silver certificates was not in the vault. The silver was at the Y-12 facility at the Manhattan Project to make the first atomic bomb, still in the 1960s. So when JFK signed that executive order, he must have known that the silver wasn't in West Point where it was supposed to be. So those certificates were not backed by anything. And that probably freaked out the military-industrial complex because that silver was still sitting at, that's 3 billion ounces sitting at the Y-12 facility at the Calutrons, as they're called, in the Manhattan Project. All this is on the Road to Ruta. If I'm losing people, just go to roadtoruta.com and watch a couple of the videos. You'll see. All right, let's go for 2 more questions. Amy, you can pick out your favorite questions.
Just a real quick one. Probably yes or no. Stephen Lewis wants to know, are you ever going to have Jeff Clark on your show?
Jeff Clark. Oh, I know that name. He's the silver guy? Who's Jeff Clark? I don't know. Probably not. Okay. Next.
All right. Shouldn't we have some platinum and gold in addition to silver?
No. Well, it depends if you want to do it for fun, but if you're looking at for buying the lowest valued metal based on its potential when the banking control ends, silver by far is going to beat all of them. All of them. Every metal out there. Well, maybe some of the rare earth metals might do well. But no, I mean, you can. Ultimately, you'll probably end up swapping them for, 75 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. But some people like that, though. I mean, some people just hang on to gold for the nostalgia part of it. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jeff Clark, the researcher at Mike Maloney's, yeah. No, they're doing a great job. They're fine. We all have our little niche in silver. All right, Amy. She's struggling now. How about a question directly from Amy? When are we going to go back on the road again? I already know what her question is. We had a mini road trip down to Orange, California, in Orange County, to hang out with Bitcoin Bid. Amazing time. Paige and Josh came up. It was just like old times. I do fear that they're going to release some second virus that's going to be worse than the first, but I'm not going to make a call on that. I'm not going to let it hold me back until, people start dropping like flies. Definitely take your vitamin D, stand out in the sun and soak it up. The best way to get vitamin D, 1 hour in the sun a day. Or if you want to go naked, half an hour in the sun a day. Bitcoin Ben, he's probably on the roof of his RV right now soaking up some Las Vegas sun. Actually, I think he's driving to Texas next. So, All right, Amy, back to you. Where are we going to go with this last question?
Decentralized. Back in mid-2019, JP Morgan Chase removed their credit cards from Canada and forgave all debt from it. What do you think? Why do you think they did such move?
I had heard it wasn't all the credit cards and it wasn't all debt. I had heard that certain people got their cards paid off, but I had also heard it's because JP Morgan was ripping them off before and was going to get busted for it, and they didn't want the exposure, so they made a deal with the Canadian government to forgive a lot of debt. That's the rumor, and it makes sense. JP Morgan is the number 1 criminal bank right now, as far as the big banks. And they just announced how much money they made trading commodities, and it was ridiculous, up 30%. You get paid to be a rigger in the United States of America, and bravo, Jamie Dimon. Here's to you and your friends. And may you all get what you deserve. All right, I think we are good. Are we good? Amy, why don't you say goodbye first?
Bye, everybody. Thank you for your questions and being patient.
There you go. This is the first time we did this. It worked great. I'm not like jumping into the chat and saying, oh, dogs are blue because they fall in a pool of ink. No, it was good. It was perfect. So thank you guys. Join the Road to Ruta. Go to roadtoruta.com if you want to learn about Theta. Join the private road. It teaches you how to buy, store, and stake your Theta. And yeah, I'm a big fan of Theta. I'm a big fan of Silver. I don't know, truthfully, I don't know which is going to do what the fastest. Silver, I think, will be the fastest, and Theta will be the biggest. So half and half is all good. All right, you guys take care. I'll talk to you soon. Later.